end of the world here for KC. GX is the IGL, which you might think, oh no, that's really bad. But if you have your coach subbing in instead, at that point, you know, it's not the worst. They're still going to be on the same page when it comes to strats and things like that. So in terms of that, this is actually not the worst. If you know you have Alkia potentially having to sub out for Smart 7, you know,
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
I don't know how good
I'd be
Smart
scared.
7 could be Radiant at this point. I don't know.
Charlotte, it's been 3 years since this man played in an official.
Yeah.
It was Twisted Minds Master Pro League Season 3 in December 23rd of 2022.
He could be the next Tens for all we know. But either way,
we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out here.
Either way, I'm looking at the pick here for KC, and it's quite interesting actually because Smart 7 is hovering the Omen right now, and Glances has picked into the Sova. And remember, with the blender draft, they won't be able to play either of those agents in the rest of the series. So yeah, like we were saying about in terms of you have to swap Sova for Fade, which on Bind and Corrode does work, but Omen I think is going to be a little bit more difficult to replace when we get if we get to that map 3 of Corrode.
I agree. I think that's why you see on the other side, right, NUXERIA opting for something like a Clove here on a little bit more flexible a map that's not even their pick, right? I am more worried about later down the line. I think they get to Corrode, the KO pick is kind of fundamental to their Corrode, but they switch up again the Waylay, they switch to the Fade, and again, you can just put a Clove in over the Omen, so they'll be fine. But I am interested in this Safia Chamber because that wasn't played in either of the recent sunsets. They were playing the double controller, the Viper Omen. So what this tells me is that they are trying to save that Viper as predicted for Bind, right? Which is a staple, which is a go-to. That's my at least conclusion for the time being, right? And I am so not against this at all. It's going to give maybe Alkia a little bit more breathing room in terms of searching out those first bloods, etc. But on the flip side as well, this team, they've been going with a stock standard composition every time they've played Sunset of some sort of Sage, Viper, Raze, and then either Omen, Clover, Fade, Silva for their initiator and controller. They have completely thrown all of that out the window with this weird double duelist, the Phoenix, and as a result, this attack side is going to be intense.
Yeah, and they've got the Clove as well, which can provide a bit of fire, but Safia is the one to come under threat right now. Ghoster rushing in, and it's a full site take for NUXERIA. KC happy to cede that space and set themselves up for the retake, and 3 players on the flank as well. They need to be wary of this, NUXERIA.
Yeah, that was the entire plan, right? But this was unaccounted for. Akuma refighting into market. The paranoia goes awry, and you're going to lose your life as a result. But this is where that trio from main has to come in clutch. And unfortunately, they've just flipped the site in response here.
Oh, it ends up being flawless there for NUXERIA, and a 4K from Akuma. I mean, if we're going to keep seeing this from Akuma on the Phoenix, then maybe I'm not against this pick. Pure fragging out. You have the curveball in there as well to frag, and his ultimate only takes six orbs to charge up. You can get a run it back pretty much every other round if he keeps this pace going.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, the Blaze Wall for the entry, much like Alkia and that Neon, is gonna work out. But again, this is your lurk player too, I'd assume, on this map. Usually playing Vipers. They know how to hold their own, and apparently they know how to entry. But Relay Bolt, the dash in, they have other plans, and the paranoia has diffused the entire situation here, Charlotte.
It's a nice attempt from KC there, but unfortunately for them, it's just the weaponry advantage here, Zobi, that brings NUXERIA in again. Safia does at least get herself one, so it's not going to be a flawless this time around, but eating the shock? Oh, hello, okay. Hang on a minute, yeah, the other shock she dodges. And I was about to be like, oh yeah, there's some danger thrown into the mix, but she's taken down. I think might be looking for a different angle as the spike continues to tick away. I mean, you've got to play a low, but yeah, Akuma there with the pre-fire. And in the end, it's nice and clean from NUXERIA. Not as clean as maybe they would like, but even still, keeping the damages to a minimum.
I like that double gun flashes. It's like, you're gonna try and gun flash me, I'm gonna do the same right back at you with the classic. But I think what we're seeing here and that attempt and why they tried to fight in the main, number one, like you mentioned, it's an eco. But also with Sofia on the chamber, it's very different, right, from a Viper. A Viper has a lot of side hold and delay power that we're gonna see later on when they get the full util kits equipped, versus this is like live by the gun, die by the gun. And boy, is Sofia embracing that philosophy right now. Glass cannon operator over towards elbow, off the deep Sova dart, and in the meantime, kind of a late reclear towards B main and the pinch attempt off of the run it back.
Yeah, Bin gets that first kill, a player that we mentioned being pretty good when it comes to fragging out, but Anacelia has caught Akuma on the timing. Ultimate expires. And a 4 versus 4. NUXERIA, though, fighting into Bova, also traded. A 3 versus 3. And Safia top mid, missing that shot. Anacelia gets a kill off of the information. Ghoster now running in. There's the first kill and the second! Making a mincemeat out of KC right now. And Anacelia is left to clutch 1 versus 2. Tap on the spike, but the shock dart comes in, doesn't catch, and catches on the corner instead. There's the quick 180. And it's starting to stick to half. What is Bin going to be able to do about this? There's the first swing. Flashpoint out round the side, but continuing to stick on the spike. Bin rushing round and clutching things out with a 20th of a second left on the defuse.
Oh, it was so close, and Anacelia played that so well from solo anchoring right in mid, fighting time and time again to take care of these pesky gnats. And then just, it was this moment right here where Ghoster goes satcheling in after these beautiful trades and finds 2 that completely flips the round on its head and requires that 1v1 clutch that just goes south, giving NUXERIA the bonus conversion off. Again, we mentioned that youngin' Bin who played down the timing, countered the flashpoint perfectly to keep NUXERIA ahead and break the bank for KC.
And it's a poor start again here. NUXERIA immediately with a kill, but Smart7 getting involved on the board. And actually, KC trading things out into an advantage. A player to the good here in what I like to describe as the hardest round to win in Valorant. The 4th one after winning the bonus. It shouldn't be that we see so many thrifties here, but we do. Overconfidence potentially, and just a bit of a throwing things at the wall approach from the side on the eco, but they found themselves an advantage, and it's up to Ao and Akuma to clutch things out here.
Yeah, KC, they've shown they know how to take these team fights and get an advantage off of them, but as soon as they splinter, as soon as Smart7 is identified to be alone, that's where they find the kill. They tie things at 2-on-2, and they get a sight and a post plant as a result. Weapons pillaged collected for KC. And we'll see if they can use those to convert, but the group up market here is good, and Glance is all alone. Okay, good regroup from Alkia.
Yeah, the NUXERIA players aren't letting themselves get swung upon, but actually, the crossfire's broken by KC. It is the hardest round as Karmine Corp get on the board.
And there it is again, just the duo synergy, the trade synergy that has been coming out in these kind of small plays that NUXERIA has done. Again, NUXERIA making good decisions, setting up smart movements. Like we saw that market refight, but it got pieced apart. And here it is again, individuals just trying to go for heroic kills, like you mentioned, maybe off the overconfidence of being up 3-0, and they get punished for it to win what you called one of the most difficult rounds in Valorant. And that's what KC GC has utilized to get on the board.
Yeah, Safia here, not with a buy, but ultimate in hand. So tour de force invested into this one. Keep the economy in a decent place for the Karmine Corp, and 4 players spotted here from the knife. Flash out as well. Anacelia's going for this, and backed up by Alkia, who finds a double. Smart7 also with 1.
Look at the lurk at mid.
Oh, but this could be dangerous.
Yeah. And they don't seem aware yet, either. It's just a matter of how many is NUXERIA gonna find, and will it collapse this round from the inside?
Oh, Trigger Discipline as well. What a transfer from NUXERIA. And they're finding the 3rd as well. Ridiculous play in this round from the Clove. Yeah, looking for the ace potentially out. Planting here. Safia, though, denies that ace opportunity for now. Not dead yet. Comes back into the fray. Is looking to try and hunt down these kills. Karmine Corp, though, going a completely different angle up through main.
This is smart. I mean, you knew they were tiles off the Hunter's Fury, so trying to fight back here. You know, probably don't expect to see the Cypher there, but a beautiful recon, the bait through the one-way, and it's another trade that goes KC Game Changer's way to get the spike diffused. The second round starting to stabilize, starting to try to eat away at this gap between the two on the scoreboard, and they are good to go. I mean, we went from like such a beautiful, right, set play there to fight that A main aggression from NUXERIA to then just like a huge gap on top mid. So what I'm hoping that we'll see to remedy this is, you see how they have the Sova watching market and the trademark there? Switch the trademark to top mid, keep a player perma in market, and they should be okay, and we'll see if they fix that mistake up here.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's still, honestly, for a second there, I thought Al was going to get that transfer, but not to be. And
oh, Jix is in the coach slot?
GX is in the coach slot, apparently. Has called a timeout. This is...
I bet she's having fun with this, honestly, knowing Jix and like, okay, this here, you asked me what the vibes were like in the arena, right? For the sunset specifically. I will say Jix was the vibe merchant for this team, screaming back against the blue wall. That was KC, by the way, right? They had the biggest fan base there in person. You don't have that for these remote events, right? And I think that is exactly what she can bring in a timeout specifically environment, is going to be like a little motivational speech, a little pep talk, and then probably again pointing out some of these small mistakes and some of these tendencies that they're starting to see from NUXERIA.
Yeah, because like we mentioned, there are holes that NUXERIA are exploiting here, despite the nice set plays as well. And again, I think KC have got to count themselves a little bit lucky that they do end up winning that round. Again, it was nice hero play from NUXERIA, but NUXERIA are definitely identifying the gaps here. They are down on an eco right now, so you'd expect Karmine Corp to get this back up level 3-3, but again, these eco rounds can quite often be very dangerous.
Maybe another contributing factor to the timeout, just not wanting to lose the momentum they've established, and that first kill is not great. I mentioned they switched the trademark, which is exactly what they do, but it opens up a vulnerability in market that gets exploited for this B-split, and yeah, the showstopper is just gonna reoccupy that space. NUXERIA's death lost, and plant goes down, up 1. Numbers.
Indeed, Smart 7 coming into this though, curveball around the side, and the second one isolated here. Trading out, but now Safia left to clutch, and clutch she will not. NUXERIA get the round, and the hero rifle that came through from NUXERIA there, instrumental to that victory and keeping KC at arm's length.
Yeah, I just wanted to rewatch this. Just the pacing was such an issue this round for KC again. We see the Sova get overwhelmed in market. There's not that same delay utility that we saw Anacilia had, right? With the flashes, with the Molly, or that a Viper like their typical composition brings. So they just steamrolled through. NUXERIA basically W-keyed it into Boba and flipped that site and opened it up for NUXERIA to get in, get the thrifty, and keep that lead instead of giving Karmine Corp GC the tie that they were looking for. A little bit of a switch up here for KC on the eco. I mean, they have obviously the overdrive here that could go launching down into tiles, which is why there's a NUXERIA stack here about to stare them down in the face.
Oh, it's so risky, and the ultimate popped there by Akuma might not matter, in fact, as all the kills in mid go the way of the attacking side, and Smart 7 has been spotted here in a link as well. I mean, I don't think he's long
coach
for
clutch?
this world, but a coach 1v5 would certainly be something. They're going in with the knife, Sobi, to rub salt in the wound. And that's 5 on the board already for NUXERIA.
Guys, come on, he hasn't played an official in 3 years. You can't just go knifing him like this, but...
Yeah, I mean, a harsh awakening.
Yeah, that just felt like a really, really good read from NUXERIA. Akuma, I don't want to say this was distrust in the teammates, but the teammates did in fact have his back, and you mentioned it again, there wasn't much use to it, but it was good for that last second information on to where this Omen Smart 7 was. So they cap off the round. This is a big round for Karmine Corp, right? That was an eco, you can ride it off here. You have the op back, you have the ults, and you lose this round, NUXERIA are pretty much going to guarantee themselves a 7 off the buy alone. So don't want to lose the potential to keep this half close.
Bit of a slower pace than what we've seen in the past couple of rounds. Boombot clearing some information, and Smart 7 has been spotted here by Akuma, going back in for the fight and winning it against an NUXERIA duelist. You say he's not played an official in 3 years, but has certainly still got the chops to compete at this level. The rest of KC as well, here to assist as the push through elbow, and they don't expect the position of Smart 7 taken down, but it's already found 2, and has gotten the advantage here for Karmine Corp.
Oh, this is nice too. A lack of pressure from Bin on main means they could isolate these fights one angle at a time. Fight elbow, then fight main. Even then they had Glance coming in from a top mid too, so it all came together. They hold on to that site and win out those fights, even with the Spectre a little bit longer range. And you mentioned it was off this opener from Smart 7, very nicely done. And that's why I mentioned that KO utility as well, playing the part of that delay, that fragmentation. And those are the kind of moments that we need to see again, that comfortability, those reps that they've had on Sunset.
Yeah, it feels like Karmine Corp maybe starting to find themselves in a bit of a rhythm now. And they've got to buy again for this one, but Ghoster, oh, that's a nice kill, but Alkia lines up 2 before being felled. So 3 versus 3 right now, and Akuma sends in the hot hands and the blindside, but still taken out. So 2 versus 2 yet again. The spike should be planted here by NUXERIA.
Ooh, it's difficult though, right? Safia op in hand, has to get past the trap wire as well. So it is just kind of isolated 1v1s, right? Sova v Sova, Sentinel versus Sentinel. That could just decide the fate of this round.
Still creeping forward, but the time is ticking here, Zobi. Glance and Safia are going to have to get a wriggle on at some point. Ao is watching for Glance's position. There's still a bunch of question marks here, but the shock dart gives it away, and the footsteps heard in elbow as well. They're going to know these positions, but can't land the shot. It's up to Ao to clutch, and clutch again! To get 6 on the board for NUXERIA and prevent any kind of momentum from KC.
Wow. That is so interesting, right? At first we mentioned it was isolated 1v1s that could decide the round, and then NUXERIA regroup, and instead of fighting where they knew that one player would be, they give KC, honestly, the respect, the time to regroup and take these fights together. Like we mentioned, just that chip damage alone onto Safia was not enough to finish out the 1v1 up against Ao. They get, like you mentioned, the 3K, they get the 6th round, and the only silver lining here is that there's a chance, there's a buy here for Karmine Corp, and they still have these ultimates to try and bounce back, to try and stride towards a 6-6 half, but they haven't gone towards B in a minute, and this B pressure all feels like a fake, a ruse for the time being, and Safia maybe falling forward, bait out into the frag on the A space, Boombot shield to keep Ghoster alive, and instead they're just going to regroup mid and see what this drone can find and go from there.
Smart 7 will be aware of that drone in market, deals with it accordingly as well. So again, NUXERIA still sensing a few question marks around the map and not entirely sold on what they want to do. Akuma going for a bit of a bait and switch here on B, but KC are buying this. Ooh. 3 players over this side, but all of these footsteps will be heard. And in come the rotations. Showstopper, though, deals with Safia. Ghoster is in, but not for long. There's a kill from Alkia, but Ao gets the information with the neural theft. Akuma creeping up through mid as well. There's another angle that they've not been accounting for. Karmine Corp caught in the back, but Glance does answer back here, and Alkia gets the bait onto Akuma. This is a 3 versus 2 now, with Anacelia back up and alive. The spike's not even planted yet. In comes the overdrive. Doesn't find the kill, but it doesn't need to. Karmine Corp on the retake get things done, where potentially it was looking like NUXERIA were about to sneak another round in.
Yeah, I mean, the A side falls to the wayside, right? Akuma had a beautiful flank timing through B main, through mid. That shuts down the KO, but it really was just Alki able to find this kill and shut down and should refrag, right? Safia, who was tied to the anchor, and then this right as well, baiting out Akuma, getting Anacelia back up, so they can have multiple players funnel in, like you mentioned, accompanied by this overdrive to finish off those low HP players. So you mentioned This might be a close matchup, and we are headed in that direction. Money broken, a half buy for NUXERIA here. KC, Karmine Corp Game Changers need, again, stability. They need consistency if they want to catch up here in this half, and this will be a good round to start it off on.
Oh, that was blindside. The drone caught, and the two players on B site caught as well. Smart 7 and Glance falling by the wayside. And NUXERIA, again, on their half buy, might be finding success as they did back when they found, I think it was their third or fourth round too. These half buys have been working out well.
They're going to save the side of Karmine Corp here. I mean, yeah, that's a difficult round. It's like it's like Karmine Corp had this like magnet drawing them to early round aggression. Like they want to go searching, right? And that's the thing I do remember that actually caught Shot by Rebellion off guard on maps like Haven, and they're getting punished for it, right? Because NUXERIA is just so fast and so cohesive in these early round movements to clear out main that they're just getting caught out. So I feel like the adaptation here is just don't do that. I feel like they've been doing really, really well, right? Having these backside holds, these backside positions, right? We looked at 2 players solo anchoring A site, right? We looked to the 3 players on that retake, right? That's where they've shined up against NUXERIA. And if they can, with these saved weapons, come into this last round and give a 7-5 half against a composition that felt very, very attack-sided with a Clove, with a double duelist, and a nerfed Cypher, I feel like we could have a good second half on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Celia as well with the 0 point. Obviously information to be gained, but I feel like it's such an influential ability. But right now, Karmine Corp expecting something A main, it's not to be, and with the run it back activated, well now they're going to know that, well, B site is the place to go for them, but Akuma is just in. Zafia falls, but here comes Hunter's Fury. Damage dealt onto Bin, takes him down. So 4 versus 4, but site control on this western side is in the hands of NUXERIA.
My turn.
Oh, that's a huge kill on a NUXERIA who's been a threat in their side, but they can use the run it back to get the trade shut down. Alkia, who's that main re-entry player, and now you just layer a delay utility, right? Or try to. Yeah.
Oh, gets caught though. Akuma's just too damn aware. And with a double kill there as well. Third on the round onto Celia. Glance has to clutch up here. It's a nice first kill and a nice second as well. What a clutch from the Sova on 1 point of health.
Don't worry.
Wow. And there it is. I mean, it's like, you want to knife my coach? I'm going to play the games against you as well. And they get their 7-5 half, which, again, might not seem a lot, but allows them to win a pistol and be right back into the action. And aside from clutching things out as well, Glance is the one that slowed down that pace on the B tick a little bit, so they couldn't flip the site, right? Because of that Hunter's Fury. And really, this round was a team effort, right? Aside from the heroics to cap off the round, right? Look at Smart 7, who shut down NUXERIA, who was going to be, again, a knife up the gut.
Oh, that's
you look at again the setup to this insane target swap. I mean, that was set up perfectly from NUXERIA, right? It was okay. I take contact, you swing right after, you should get the trade, and it just didn't go that way.
Yeah, an insane 1v3 there from Glance to keep Karmine Corp in touching distance.
Careful now.
Differences between an 8-4 and a 7-5 are, of course, huge, but right back into the breach and right back with NUXERIA finding a double kill. You have this double duelist comp on defense with the Clove as well. You just go aggressive. A second flawless pistol round for NUXERIA. And they find themselves potentially a round later than they might deserve.
Yeah, I need a replay to see where the Clove came from. Okay, he's in fact Market, Pillar. And I don't want to say, oh, Karmine Corp should have expected something like this, but I mean, the pacing signs, I feel like, were there, right? On their attack half. Like, how fast they were taking main, how fast they were making contact. And it translated right into that pistol and possibly their entire defensive approach and how it's going to go with this Clove, with this double duelist. But for the time being, again, money not on their side. Little split attempt. They should realize there's a pretty heavy stack A with all of that utility. And now the scale up towards the one-way. They didn't know then. Hopefully the 0 point will confirm it. And that's where we should see the speed up B, but look at NUXERIA.
Oh my word, that position on mid stairs has been spotted. And now here comes the reclear from Karmine Corp. just got to have your tail between your legs, but goes down fighting instead. 4 versus 4, and Al finding that pick onto Alkia, and the wraparound here from NUXERIA just works out perfectly for them. The clove play in mid was just enough to stall KC out for that wrap to honestly catch the perfect timing.
Yeah, and it's difficult because it felt like Karmine Corp knew it was happening, and that's where Alkia was trying to get the ball rolling over towards B main. But Guardian, the Cypher on the site, comes through at a delay just long enough. And again, like you mentioned, they were putting out so many fires. You also maybe wanted that Spectre that you fought for against NUXERIA. So again, too many fish to fry on a second round attempt. But weapons now in hand. We'll see what they can do to keep the streams alive on their map pick reminder, or if NUXERIA will get to double digits first. And once again, it's just proactivity. It's W key action, right? NUXERIA finds first contact on Sofia and gets out pretty much unscathed with that overheal, with that pick me up online.
Yeah, it's less of a risk to go for that fight as NUXERIA. But as for KC, they've hit a bit of a wall here.
Yeah.
That loss early to Safia, they're not entirely sure what to do, but Ghoster trying to go into things here, and it's the perfect distraction yet again. NUXERIA finds a second kill, and Akuma gets in on the action. The bonus round here from Karmine Corp. It's just not working out for them yet again. At least Anasilia is good for 1, and Glance is going to have to do it again. Vin, come on now. We've got to play this seriously. Come on! Another knife kill. I was going to say it's the dagger in the back, but I mean, it was in the front actually. It's going to force the timeout from Karmine Corp again. GX is going to have a chat with the team here, because they're now at a 5-round deficit, and they've lost their bonus yet again here. It's both halves where this has happened.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, Bin, this is the person that got like a 4K clutch to give a 7-5 half, and then they still get the knife off. And this is a 19-year-old on the server. They don't care that it's a veteran, a multi-time GCC. It's ND in Glance. And honestly, I was thinking about a timeout coming through just because of, again, they haven't picked up on the fact that maybe they should just kind of wait things out for like 20 seconds, because again, NUXERIA is never not taking space right now, right? Deep A main, deep B main. Again, you have NUXERIA as well, always behind you. Like, it feels like if you're prepared for it, you can just wait it out and try to shut it down. But now the difficulty is that you have to do that while also having the weapon disadvantage, right? And soon, I would say the ult disadvantage as well, right? Run it back already online for NUXERIA. So again, they're running out of options. They're running out of time here on what already was a gambly pick in their department of Sunset before heading to Bind. But some singers, some copium. We'll see if we can get them through this round. Same with the Jix timeout power. I think the chat called it the Jix timeout buff.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, NUXERIA now facing the hardest round. But KC are going in. Again, it feels like NUXERIA are almost happy to give this space, but fighting from backside. Goes to jumping in with the shorty. But again, the trades are being won out here by Karmine Corp. Bin from Boba is going to have to do absolute bits, and Akuma there.
Are they gone? They're going in?
It's a free run on through, and actually spams through the box. That door opened up, but the run it back now expires. Alkia is left to clutch. 1 versus 2, and Akuma heading towards a position. The good news is that she's got the spike, so NUXERIA really don't know where she is. Just jumps into the angle that Akuma's holding. And this time, NUXERIA get 4 in a row to start the half. And they're now just 2 rounds away from taking their opponent's map pick.
And instead of slowing down out of the timeout with that, again, half buy, that stinger buy, they actually catch NUXERIA off guard, turn up the pace, and meet them, I would say, in terms of how fast they're able to get onto that B site. But it was that, I want to say, over concern about Akuma's run it back, right? That forces them to rotate in that 2v2, right? And then they're running into a closed door and get sandwiched, essentially, and that bought enough time for Bin to reposition towards top mid. make it a low or a fair. And again, things started to crumble, but this is the round, make or break, right? You have a bye, if not, it's NUXERIA map point, and you won't have any guns to really counter it with. So we'll see what KC can do on what could be the last stand for this map.
We were hoping for a close game here, Zobi. And there's still chance for KC to deliver, but right now, NUXERIA, they don't want to give them that opportunity. Jump spot top mid and the trap wire taken away. NUXERIA are expecting that something fishy is happening here. They've not seen any pressure A main, they've not seen any pressure B main, although Safia tangling with NUXERIA down to 4 HP and out with another operator. Gets that kill, but again, it's just ops left, right, and center. A 3 versus 3 now, but Safia still horrendously low, and now gets a second kill.
30 seconds left.
It evened up, though, in a 2 versus 2. And again, the only control that KC have is through mid.
Oh, that's good information. Thought it was going to try and delay, try to run interference to get the Phoenix in position as well on this flank, but I do like this Merc-centric plant. Then you don't have to worry as much about main control, which you can see NUXERIA is now trying to re-clear, holding the angle. This fight could determine the entire map.
Last player standing.
Kuma's gonna lose it out as well. It forces the captain into a 1v2. NUXERIA, an operator in hand. It's a tricky weapon to retake with, and the null command popped as well. Certainly don't back him in the situation, but Anasili's looking the wrong way. It's now 1 versus 1! And NUXERIA wins it out! Plenty of time for the defuse, and that is map point!
What a way to give map point over peeking into the operator. After NUXERIA had insane awareness that there could be a player A main, completely losing track of the possibilities as to where NUXERIA was. After NUXERIA did reveal that they were top mid in crossing as well, but just so much time had passed, and it was also a heck of a choice if you saw, right? NUXERIA, I think, swapped into this operator and then wins out this insane 1v2. Wow. And yeah, look at this, right? A few vandals, but no full shields to accompany them. And on the flip side, you get the Singers and the Bulldog instead with the full shields. And look at the ults NUXERIA has as well. This is a tall task of a round to win, and that is a beautiful time 0 point to strip away the showstopper to keep the hope alive, but it is starting to dwindle.
I don't think it's starting to dwindle. It has dwindled entirely. They're going for the knife fight, but with the numbers that NUXERIA have, it's the knife fight that they're gonna win.
Are you a good composition? Because again, the meta has changed so much. I mean, last time this team played it, they were playing a Brim, Vice, Fade, Yoru, and Viper. Them being Karmine Corp. And we haven't seen NUXERIA on this map, and they even changed craziness in the first map, right? But coming into it, this is where we're seeing a lot of the changes, a lot of the spice in the form of a double Sentinel on the Karmine Corp side with a Deadlock and a Sage. And on
no Viper.
The flip side, what do you say? No Viper?
No Viper, Safi's on the raise here.
Huh. Okay. And wait, Aoki is on the Deadlock. This is... Oh, we also forgot to say, guys, Jix is back.
Yeah, Jix is here. Woo!
Yeah,
Smart 7 back in the coaching slot.
In the coach slot. Jix, you did a great job. Beautiful timeout timings. I can imagine the pep talk and the vibes soaring after it, but it does seem like that we're keeping this kind of double duelist setup on the side of NUXERIA, and I do like it, actually. Previously, when they did run the double duelist, again, it was NUXERIA and Ghoster, and I think that was because, again, Ghoster was trying to break his waylay one-trick tendencies, and honestly, we've seen NUXERIA, I think, killing it on the controller. We just saw it on the Clove, and Akuma was, I think, a great pressure relinquisher for Ghoster.
Yeah, I'm a little confused that we don't see the Brimstone here from Karmine Corp. Obviously not banned for them in any way, and I think it's definitely not necessarily a must pick for this map, but running solo controller and not having a brimstone, I think is going to make life very, very difficult for Karmine Corp here. Just because of, you look on either the A site or the B site, there's just so many angles where you can smoke off. There's, you know, little boxes in the middle that you need kind of 2 smokes to block off either side of them and things like that as well. So with this clove on side, it is going to be difficult. Okay. I'm hearing.
You have a raise nade, you have double Tejo missiles, you have a net. I feel like they think the number of angle clearing things they have is overkill with the brimstone as well. So that's why I think they leaned away from it here. And
That's fair.
also Jix #1 is coming in off the bench, right? Like, she's gonna have like murder in her eyes. So putting her on the clove instead of, you know, post plan Andy of a brimstone, I'm fine with it. So we'll see if it works out, especially with this insane TP play coming through. They did want to fight.
Yeah, it's quick off the blocks, and Ghost securing an advantage here for NUXERIA as the A site completely vacated here, and Ghost finds a second onto Safia as well. That's the signal for NUXERIA to just really secure themselves this B side completely. NUXERIA should be aware of Glance's position, but well, fighting into it is not the wisest idea. Brings things back, and NUXERIA only 1 player to the good.
And those jiggle to confirm both players are still headed this way. Paper thin walls, though, will leave you running. Tail between your legs to group up with your teammates. Everybody prepare for this hookah fight.
Oh, and there goes the net. Missiles in as well. The crossfire being broken, in fact, and teleport away. Gate crash utilized. And now Ghoster inside of B long. And again, getting spotted out there. Tap on the spike. The Ghoster biding his time, making sure to play this perfectly. And Glance low on HP, but low on H ammo as well. Doesn't have it. And the 3rd pistol of this series goes the way of NUXERIA. KC are just yet to find success in these opening moments of halves.
I mean, I like the initiative, right? We talked about how NUXERIA was the one with the really high pacing, and so KC again tried to take that to their opposition. And I liked, again, the pinch as well off the wall inside of Shower, but again, it comes down to a 1v1, and Glance, well, again, played it to the half very well. It was just running out of ammo, like mentioned, and I mean, master of tricks and a Yoru. Name a better duo. You can't, and like you mentioned, it's another pistol round for NUXERIA.
We'll have to wait for the second half of this map to see if there's any success for KC in that regard. But NUXERIA, they find success early on here in the second round too. Really nice utility combinations coming in to give themselves a 3-player advantage. Just 2 left alive and make it 1. It's going to be difficult here for GX. Spawning out the gate crash, maybe hoping to get a free kill, but it just expires, and now you're retaking 1v5 with a Sheriff. I mean, if there was ever a round to hit a highlight, it's going to be this one.
I mean, I thought they were going to wait around for the Yoru TP. Be like, this one's personal after they won the 1v1 against Glance, but nope, Sheriff in hand. If there's one thing we know, it's the GC Sheriff, but no time, running out of opportunities to deny this from being a flawless round. It might just give the opportunity, but it's actually going to be Ghoster here. There it is.
It's another
target, one
flawless
headshot found. Yeah.
And should be hoping to go down to the spike here, which indeed she does. So, I mean, that's nice for the economy for the bonus round, but NUXERIA are still going to be sitting pretty here. Their econ is also going to be soaring. They've only lost 1 player here in this one, so don't need to reinvest into round 3, and that means come round 4. I mean, their coffers are going to be bursting at the seams.
Oh, absolutely. Keeping the money high again like they did over on Sunset, but the big difference, like you mentioned, we're looking for here is, I think it was double bonus conversions as well for NUXERIA over on Sunset. So now that they have weapons in hands, KC or Karmine Corp need to deny it, and the time being, this Executil's looking good. Net comes in, the wall to get out of the way, but it's been destroyed immediately, and there's all this utility coming through.
I mean, Ghoster tried to play aggressive there, but it's not to be for now, and Akuma also dealt with by Safia. Karmine Corp just putting a lid on things right now here on B site, making sure that it doesn't get out of hand. NUXERIA as well, spotted, taken away. Vin, though, put a danger into the mix, but not much more past that. Out, kill onto Jix, and, well, potentially could have found Anacelia, but just a nice timing with the util in hand. Taken there. KC keep 3 alive. Pretty good bonus.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ghosters got a little bit ahead. There wasn't really much room for support. I might have seen as well a net down long come through. That's why they couldn't really follow things up. So that kind of kept things on track. And Anacelia, nice timing there through the teleport to, like we asked for, deny a bonus conversion of NUXERIA. Keep things closed out the gate. We'll see if things continue this way. Dimensional Drift Online on par with the first buy fully out of NUXERIA here. They're going to use it right off the rip to try and get into this ace site.
So much information being gathered here by the Yoru. Leah goes in and, oh, Jix just barreled down with all of that utility. Not much space for her to survive, but Anacelia also caught up close. Glancing showers as well. Just can't get anything going. So it's on Safia and Alkia to try and get something done here. The first already found, but still 4 ahead of them. NUXERIA's low on HP. But the headshot, it didn't matter to begin with. Now just a player to the good NUXERIA could potentially start to get worried here, but this position from Vin is so nice. Can't land the transfer. And again, more danger. Safia's found 3,
Crossfire.
marching on forwards. Like you say, there's a crossfire and there's not much time left either. Util coming on out, but again, the clock is going to be the enemy. And Akuma is also there for 2 kills, make it 3 on the round, and make it 3 for NUXERIA in total.
Like, ew. I mean, Akuma's just been gross with how crisp some of these moments are. I mean, from the ghost action we saw to kick off Sunset to those 2 crowning kills on this round after Safia was on for an ace. Yeah, again, if there was a little bit more time, they might have been able to bait out that util here, but all in all, again, you got to see why maybe they picked the Clove over the Brim as well. They were to get that on the spike, try to get a player onto it, but well, in all, like you mentioned, first record round goes to NUXERIA. The ults are still flowing, so Empress online. And Empress Safia wants to shot it down, but dismiss and a gate crash away. Both duelists can escape that demise.
Wow, what a shot there from Akuma. Take away the ultimate. Take away that showstopper ultimate. One, but the Stinger is just... It's not quite the ideal weapon. Glance, we've seen her clutch before. But 1v4 with Bulldog on in hand. This would certainly be something. And all of these angles getting isolated as well. Special delivery there.
Breaking their own wall.
Try and delay the push for now. But again, these angles are being watched for. Gets the first kill, but I mean, 2 players rushing her down from Link. It's just a formality at this point.
We're not going for another knife, are we, guys? I'm feeling like a knife's coming.
Oh, maybe the shorty from long range instead. Oh no,
they're going for the knife.
Oh, they're going for the knife. Oh, oh dear. Well, they get the round in the end, but that is certainly quite silly.
I think Glance got knifed twice, right? So she finally got her revenge.
Yeah.
From Sunset, if anything. But yeah, there it is. Beautiful slow-mo. Thank you, replays. Just to show off the point and drive it home that Akuma has been nasty right now. And honestly, like, I think what we're seeing from both of these teams as well, because of the blender draft, because of the time they've stuck together, because that's the story for both these teams, is they're trying new things out and figuring out what works for them, right? And I think I'm liking Akuma on the Duelist, and I'm liking Safia on the Duelist. Those are the 2 things I'm liking that have been switched up for these teams right now. We'll see if it can do them any good, especially because KC finally get their chance with some of these ults, but ooh, I thought they were about to get baited off the B site, but they stick around. Anacelia, I don't want to be the one to make first contact here, though, because that's the res online.
Yeah,
and they're
Vin,
gone.
Though, does just completely dome her through the smoke as well. Alkia up close, does find 1. But again, it's been to find the kills for NUXERIA. teleport also being utilized there, so that gives the sound cue that there's going to be someone on this flank, but that's a nice kill. Guardian in hand, Jix as well, fighting back in from CT. Not dead yet from Jix, and an annihilation in towards the window. It's all falling apart right now, just his last two players alive in a 2 versus 2. Gravnet gets the catch, but low ammo. Can't quite land it again. We find ourselves in these 2v2 situations. There's the sensor, there's the shorty up close. And Glance has got a clutch yet again, but she's not given the opportunity. A nice 3k from out. And yet again, it's just NUXERIA running away with things here.
Yeah. I mean, this round, again, Anacilia getting first blood, that's res gone. Jix in the res was huge from CT, right? Didn't get caught by the Annihilation, didn't get caught by the Nightfall, but needed to find that second kill. And I think what we actually finally got to see this round as well is that it has always been there with this Deadlock utility, right? It just hasn't been as flashy. And that round, it got to be flashy. It got to do its job with the final stuns and final kind of deterrent of that retake from 2 players at Hookah once everything else was exhausted. But now, money broken, but the ult thriving. And it's actually NUXERIA utilize it to try and get the A side while they're trying to defuse the sand pressure with to no avail.
I mean, we find ourselves evened out here, Zobi.
Yeah.
I was going to say in the 3 versus 3, but there's the resurrection. Annihilation coming through as well. Armageddon being utilized to try and get something done to isolate these players, but oh no, the reload can't save Bin in time. For the 3 versus 2 now, Akuma alone on the site. Now
planted. Sound sensor out.
Joined by the teammate of Out. KC, a player to the good, but that's a brilliant timing to find. Anacelia's got to clutch this one out. She's only got a Guardian. Walled off here by the barrier mesh.
I mean, again, that deadlock is still deadly, but this could be good. No! Oh. They couldn't fall down in time, and then offered a shooting range for the Outlaw. Otherwise, I mean, that could have been really good, right? You slow into U-Haul, you go for the defuse, and all in all, it just does not connect. So, as a result, another round goes south. But yeah, that exhausted really both ultimates on both sides, right? To finally round things out, shave off the top. But again, NUXERIA just super, super dominant, getting back in that steamroll mentality we saw in the second half of Sunset here. And again, it's kind of win or go broke for Karmine Corp.
Yeah, we can see the mental game starting to play a factor too. NUXERIA have been typing in the chat all game long. It's starting to get in the minds of KC, but potentially firing them up here. Ooh. A nice own tree double. And Safia in through the TP. NUXERIA is going to be the player she finds. Well, and it's going to get found by their gun.
Cutting through.
Oh, to the good. Anacelia's up on top of the wall. I didn't know Ghoster was close, so that early advantage by KC squandered now in a 3v3.
Still have the deadlock for some delay to hopefully buy time for this flank coming out from Jix here. That is what could save this round. Alkia playing off the sensor, finds one,
down
but they've slipped through. Showers NUXERIA once again could be the threat from behind. Ghoster conceals it perfectly as well with the op from bench side, and now process elimination, you know exactly where Jix is, and it's all down to Glance once again. Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Oh, she saw the gate crash there as well. And so,
yeah,
could have potentially known that the player's in the corner, but there's just too many angles to watch for, right? If you try and swing Ghoster, then you just get found out from the other direction instead. So, a very tricky position, but again, it's NUXERIA fighting back from a player deficit here.
Yeah.
And it feels like any advantage that KC get, they just can't convert it. And again, they're on a half-buy. 2 Sheriffs, Stinger in the mix as well. Bulldog are throwing everything at the wall. And NUXERIA throwing everything down through short.
Yeah, I mean, I've liked the TP players, but they just aren't converting. And now, with so many players into Shower, the showstopper comes through for one, but the trade, again, immediate. And I mean, yeah, you got a wrap here, but just might get timing by Ghoster. No, the reclaim. What? They saw. They're gonna go for the knife. No.
Never
Akuma
mind.
spares them.
Called out the information. Like to say, Akuma gets the kill and finds the third as well on a tear. The Empress activated, but now just Anacelia alive. Against 3 players, it's the shorty up close to seal it. Every round, it feels like NUXERIA just get more and more confident and more dominant here. We saw on Sunset that KC weren't able to win a single attack round. And right now, they've only won a single defense here on Bind as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Bind is just a map that hammers home that mentality of if you're fighting forward, it can only benefit you. And they've set the boundaries of their space as well so well with the deadlock utilities. So Al, again, framing them super well here. Kind of like keeping, right, the duelists on a shorter leash. But we mentioned the earlier advantage that Karmine Corp has been able to find. And once again, just trades upon trades for NUXERIA. Honestly, a growth point from Sunset, but Jix, almost gets a timing. The heal comes through, which might reveal that there's a stack here, but Res online. This could change the stakes for the round. Deadlock usually went up too.
And that's the spike. Dropped in lamps as well. Anacelia has control. The Ghost is going in and can just about pick it up before escaping. Orbital Strike about to be invested by NUXERIA, but thinks better of it for now. The first 40 seconds of this round, Zobi, have elapsed, and it's already been absolute carnage.
Yeah, I like this call. Double rotate to B, the expected choice, but keep one player pivoted here, Alkia, that can maybe play a timing. And you'd still at least have a square 2v2. The player that I want them to get is NUXERIA here. Because if she does, that would have been the Orbital Strike gone, but NUXERIA has other plans. NUXERIA's not the one to sit back and relax. They're the one to go aggressive, the captain of the team, charging towards clear waters and going for the 1v3 for crying out loud.
I mean, it's just audacious at this point in time. Safia blocked off by the incendiary, now chooses to just try and fight through it, but time being wasted, time being spent. And NUXERIA lands the final kill. A quad in the round, and yet again, it's NUXERIA pushing their advantage and pushing the boundaries on what KC allow them to get away with here on Bind.
Yeah, again, such a close round. I mean, the heroics from Jix and Anacelia to get the res back online. And honestly, it was just NUXERIA this round that once again was that clutch factor that kept things under wraps. And I mean, from just the recognition that Alkia could have stuck around to then this forward fighting mentality, when that's the last thing you really expect, I would argue, in that kind of situation when there was an off, where there was an orbital strike in play. But KC aren't backing down, and they're going to get punished for it.
Trouble. Brilliant combination there, though.
Yeah. When no one's fighting forward, too, that's crazy.
Alkia there on the site, taken away, but Anacelia answering back with a double of her own. Some peril thrown into...
Spike is...
Well, the blender here. As NUXERIA now going for a peek, taken down, and kills go the way of Karmine Corp. And it's all on Ghoster. Just sitting, waiting for this barrier orb to expire. Anacelia's on low HP, and it's an operator in hand.
Out of charges.
And the orbital
That's
strike.
a nice
Sorry,
kill.
the dimensional drift
I'll
now,
handle
too.
this.
He can get the spike here and go quite literally anywhere. And it's through the teleporter. That's the sound cue given away to the Sage. But Anacelia still sticking on this A site for now until that confirmation of the spike plant on B. That's when she starts her rotation.
And they still have the operator, so they're just going to set up on the CT line, and I assume Anacelia might not have any utility to get through this. Jump peeks just to try and confirm the position. It does from the elbow, but again, quick scoped and dealt with. NUXERIA get to double digits here with a clutch out of Ghoster, and again, rounds that start out chaotically, we'll say, get stabilized by Karmine Corp, and then heroics get NUXERIA back through it. And this round, it was, again, Anacelia and this Guardian that kept things neat, orderly, and kind of on Karmine Corp's side, and then it just flips because of heroics.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the very minimum a 10-2 half here for NUXERIA. Nice kill from Jix, but again, how many times have we seen these opening advantages
They're all going A every time.
the other way? But now surely they don't lose this one. A 5 versus 2. Jix time to try and go exploring, but the ultimate coming through, and
Player standing.
as well, it's complete carnage. It's chaos. Karmine Corp do get their second round, but they head into the switch with an 8-round deficit. We've seen NUXERIA win 3 of 3 pistols for Karmine Corp. They are going to have to break that streak here. Now more than ever, they need a round.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen 10-2s, we've seen 9-3s recently in Game Changers, and Karmine Corp is going to need one of their own here. They want to keep their chances in Project Blender alive, and it's going to ironically start with their first pistol, right? Ideally, of the series, right? After not finding it on Sunset, not finding it here in the first half, because if not, I mean, that's basically handing a 12 to NUXERIA, not warranting, you know, a Stinger Force going your way, etc. So, we'll see if they can finally get that breakthrough. And it feels like every other option has been exhausted, and we'll say the Teo sets it up quite nicely, at least get out onto the site. Same with the Deadlock util. But it's a fake!
Yeah, they're going to have to find their first attacking round here as well, Karmine Corp, but in terms of the macro, it's going well for now, but
they should know now.
Safia's been found, and with no kind of follow-up, that should be the confirmation. Here's all of the utility coming in as well. Jumping down, and Alicia taken out. Spike now on the floor, isolated. And it's another flawless pistol from NUXERIA. I think that's at least 3 of the 4 we've seen. They've not lost a player. And for Karmine Corp, the pistol round woes continue, the attacking round woes continue, and realistically, the bind woes continue here, because it's 11-2, and if they don't find a thrifty win, or at least have to try and force up here into this follow-up, they're going to have 10 match points against them.
I really liked, again, the exec utility there onto the site, but I think they just overcooked the fake out a little bit there, right? Because they got the A space, and then, again, the rotations just came through fast to the B site once they took care of Safia, and now, like we said, they kind of fate hinges on a Stinger Force, and unfortunately that is light shield, so you're trying to target it, and with a judge, oh no, this is not going to go well, where is it? The GC Sheriff's ring true, 2 found, 1 apiece, Stinger through the smoke as well, the stars are aligning, and there are 2 more kills for Karmine Corp to get this round.
Oh, NUXERIA's been walled off as well. A brilliant timing for the barrier orb there from Anacelia. And, I mean, what do our NUXERIA do here? Outlaw in hand? Gonna try and go for this, obviously. It's basically an operator with the low shields of the attackers.
No.
But right now, the time is just getting a bit too low. NUXERIA, though, found a time, 1-1 and a second. It's a dangerous moment here, but I think the time might just be too low for it. As NUXERIA finds another, no one's on the defuse.
Clutch.
Despite the quad, it's the round for KC.
Staying alive for the time being. NUXERIA limping away with the Spectre in hand, yep. I think it was, again, just the pacing, catching NUXERIA off guard, as well being able to shut down that sniper finally, and somehow Bin, I feel like Bin and a Judge probably isn't a combination we're used to, so might be why things went south, but NUXERIA, like, needs to be studied, right? Their just ability to go undetected every single time and get behind.
And get
completely
like 50
kind of
trillion kills while doing it.
Prevents them from keeping this round clean, and not much to bring on forward, so just buy up what you can, because you're playing every round like it might as well be the last.
Yeah, every round a cup final at this point.
Launch.
Going through the motions right now, the first kill found onto Ghoster, who just kind of got caught a short there. And Safia gets a second kill as well. Bin trying to refight into that angle.
This is a smart call. I mean, they got away from the Bucky trap of Hookah. I mean, Safia has found 2 kills right on A. Them just kind of outright challenging and losing to the Outlaw here. The only complication, yeah, is Akuma, who only has a Sheriff in hand. And he's trying to conceal just how many players are here. Double. I'm gonna say Lyra just to stall, but I mean, net, the wall, should be a pretty done and dusted deal of a round as long as they don't overfight. And that's if that we're on.
NUXERIA still alive though? Okay, only gets 1, and it's actually a collateral to end things from Jix, so KC, they keep this one fairly clean as well. Meaning that, well, I mean, they might have preferred to have died, to be honest, because they're still with these kind of half-by weapons. NUXERIA, though, might be themselves on some better weapons, Vandals, that sort of thing. And for a second there, I was worried because, you know, it's NUXERIA. We've seen what they've been able to do before, but the way things turn out, it's nice for KC, but yeah, the weapon
Still
advantage now back in the hands of NUXERIA.
I don't know why they didn't just buy up. But this is NUXERIA going full send into the fight, and I felt like communication broke down just a touch, so you're losing an additional life over towards Fountain. Once again, they're going to call upon Safia to maybe open up the ace side, but that's a person you can call upon. Yeah, first kill Fountain, still 2 more, and the deadlock utility to get through with the regroup coming through from KC's side.
An orb away from the showstopper too, which could be pivotal in the outcome of this round.
That's why they head towards shower. And the wall just dropped.
Yeah, and I mean, the orb is still here. There should be ultimate online here for the duelist. An opportunity to potentially break the site and break this round wide open.
And
but it's just Al inside of Lamps with a judge.
Where do you send the showstopper? That's the question Safia has. They waste the time, and Akumo is again brutal with this Vandal.
Right out of the sky.
Like you cut your losses.
1v3 now for Anacilia. It's just not going to be. So in this kind of round, NUXERIA, amidst the chaos, do just about come out on top, and now it's 8 match points that they've got in hand. KC have to be perfect from here on out.
Yeah, fortunate with the continual bonusing, we'll have a mostly full buy. I think 1 player just short on cash, but again, it's like NUXERIA were finally not like taking the fight to them every single round of the defense like we saw over on Sunset, and then this round they suddenly did. It caught them outside of B long off guard off the Ghoster, and then they played really strong retake game over here towards ace sites. So we're starting to see more colors, it feels like, of NUXERIA here, but it's exactly when KC wasn't counting on it, which is not what you want when you're trying to make a comeback from a 10-2 half. But I mentioned 8 tries to put Karmine Corp away, to get your first win in Phase 3 for Project Blender, and make an insane reverse sweep just to get to playoffs. But Kuma, Empress in hand, spotted out by the drone, and there's no follow-up just yet as a result.
Waiting in the wings here, Karmine Corp, but well, the go button is pressed. Jix gets a kill, but again it's Akuma to really just be that brick wall in the way. Now involved, Ghoster finding a kill. The Annihilation gets nothing done. Safia facing the numbers, facing the music, as NUXERIA puts Karmine Corp to the third and eliminate them from the competition.
Wow, oh wow. I mean, we saw Karmine Corp game changers. I mean, their coach step in map 1. They were trying new things out, like Alki on the Deadlock and Safia on the solo duelist. And I mean, I get it. We thought this series was going to be a bit more contentious than it was, because we just saw some insane players lock in, and just a lot of really rough dogfights, it felt like, as well, going NUXERIA's way. And yeah, and there were some funny moments here and there, like some knife kills. 4, I think, grand total for the series. But again, I think it was just very different, like, ideological differences, it felt like, in terms of the play styles, and we really did see them clash in the server.
Yeah, we absolutely did. Where we sort of could see some more of it just being those swing rounds that kind of didn't go KC's way on map number 1. This one definitely felt like, oh, I understand. You know, we could understand why NUXERIA picked this map. They were looking so solid and just didn't allow KC a chance to even fight in, to have an opportunity at any swing rounds to begin with, because they just got off on the right foot. And despite not winning the bonus this time around, just a much better first half. And you know, at the point where it's a 10-2. Obviously, we've seen comebacks from that before, but the writing is kind of on the wall at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, in the first half, I think there was a string of, like, 4, maybe 5 rounds where it was literally 4 players from Karmine Corp stacked on A, and NUXERIA was still able to fight through. And all the things we kind of praised over on Sunset towards the end of this map on Karmine Corp's side felt like they were falling apart, down to even this execution, which usually was their shining point, right? You've outpaced the salvos. You have a duelist in the corner getting pinged out by your own util.